everyone, today we will be taking this LOL doll and turning her into a Rapunzel LOL doll. So I'm just going to go ahead and take off her shoes, because all Rapunzel fans know that Tina doesn't wear shoes. I may turn these into purple boots later. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to take off her glasses as well. Now, I do not remember what doll this is. I am an LOL fan, but I don't know their names. I do have two little LOL sisters. So I will be turning one of them into Rapunzel's little sister. So I think I'll keep this bump on her head. But I will be cutting off this ponytail first. Sorry about that. I turned off the flash. Now, I don't know if my scissors are strong enough to cut this. May have to get my other ones. Kind of cut it. One second. Okay, these are cutting a lot better. So now she has a big hole in her head. So what we will do is I'm going to fill her head up. And I will grab a paintbrush. You can either use a pencil or anything really with a pointy tip. That way you can get it in the actual hole and it won't keep puffing out like mine is. Now, you don't want to put too much in there because you don't want to waste your polyfill. But I'm going to put just a little more. That should be good. Make sure you get it all the way in. Okay. Now, your LOL will not be able to do her water trick unless she's a color changer. But that's okay. We don't really need her to. So make sure you get it all inside. If it sticks out like that, a little sign. So now what you're going to need is water and air dry clay. Okay, so I've got my Funko. Just so I can model it. Set that in the back. I have my water. That is clean water. It's just an old paint cup I used. Then my air dry clay. I got this at Michael's for about $6. I did look around and it was not really cheaper anywhere else. So I'm going to open that up. So the first thing you want to do before you start the clay, let me try to get this to focus. There we go. You're going to want to dip your fingers or use a paintbrush. I'll go ahead and use a paintbrush. And you want to get her head wet. Not too wet. Just enough to give the clay something to stick to. I have watched a YouTuber that does LOL stuff for a living. So I've seen her do this. For some reason, whenever I use my air dry clay, it does crack. I'm not sure what I'm doing. I smooth out the edges with the water and with my finger and all that, but it just never sticks for some reason. So I'm going to add an extra layer of clay. Also make sure you get this top part. And that should be good. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is get the clay. You're going to want to make sure it's nice and thin. Not too thin, because then it will crack, but so flatten it any way you want. And I'm just going to put that right over the hole in the back of her head. Now I will smooth it out just a little I don't want it to get bumpy and crack. I don't want it to look bad. Because I will be adding her to my LOL Tangled collection over there. Which if you've been on my channel for a little bit, you've seen. I'm just shaping the head. With the clay around the head. I don't want it too much on her actual face. I'm actually going to go ahead and take off her shirt. So if you get clay on her face like I have, I'm not sure if it's going to, there we go. I got clay everywhere. That's an easy fix. Just wait until you're done with molding it, getting the hairstyle what you want. And then you can just wash it off. Now, I'm just going to put another piece right over the hole because it's still kind of puffing out. Now, using your water, I'm just going to use my finger, smooth out the edges. Make sure you don't see any cracks. Now, you can do this you can wait until the end when it's actually complete, like when you're done with the hair and all that, and you're done molding it. I just kind of do it as I go. Like my finger is still wet, so it's still working. So I am just going to keep doing this, adding clay where I need it. Now, when this part is dry, the hair anyways, I'm going to actually add the piece of her longer hair. But I feel it's better to wait until it's dry. So I'm just going to keep molding it. Okay, that's what she looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and smooth out the edges now. Again, you can use a paintbrush, your finger, whichever you prefer. It's just, I'm doing my finger because it's a little easier. Make sure you can get this part along the top of the head to the actual face. Because the better smooth it is to the actual body, the less likely it's going to chip off. Like you can see a little piece of the old hair. That's probably not important because we're going to paint over it anyways to make it a yellow. But just go ahead and smooth out the new piece I added. Okay, and here's what she looks like. Let me try to get my camera to focus. And of course it's not going to work for me. There we go. So I am just going to flatten out her head because it looks a little bumpy to me, which I'm not really happy with. Just going to smooth it out with my finger, try to make it a little flatter if I can. Yes, I'm ruining all the work I just did. That looks a little better. I'm just going to take my water and smooth in all those bumps I just made. Okay. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and add the long hair now. That way it can just dry overnight. So you're going to want to take some clay, put it in your hands like this, roll it up like this. Kind of like what you used to do when you were little kid with the Play-Doh. So it's kind of like a sausage. So I'm going to fold it over and do that again so it's nice and thick. Sorry, I keep hitting the camera. Welcome back, everyone. So here is the LOL after 24 hours of drying. The only chipping that I noticed was under here. The under part of the hair. So I'm just going to take a little air dry clay and patch that up. I knew there would be a little chipping somewhere. So I'm just going to take a small piece and patch it in. It's a little too big. Hold on. Also looks like it went under her skin here by accident. But that's okay. We'll just we'll add clay over this to make her dress anyways. So let me turn her this way. So right in here, I'm going to put in the clay. I am going to use a pencil. It's kind of an awkward spot, but I did not put in the right spot, okay. It's right here. That whole black spot here is where I should have put it. So let me just get a little more clay. And if it's too thick, like mine is, just go ahead and get your pencil and or needle or whatever you're using. And you can just poke it down. Okay, that looks a little better. So I also see a little crack here. That should be fine now. So I did clean up her face, but as you can see there's still clay everywhere. That doesn't really matter because we'll be painting over her skin and her eyes also. But right now, while this part dries, I'm just going to paint her hair yellow. So let me just put the lid back on my clay. And before we do that, I'm going to show you the glasses and the shoes. So I went ahead and put a little yellow on the shoes. Now it dripped down, so that's why there's like one little line of yellow there. But I actually like it, so I might do a yellow on that side so it matches. This one it also dripped down a little bit. So for the sunglasses, ignore the tape, I just had it there so it wouldn't drip down. The base is that purple. So I went ahead and I put yellow dots. Now I want to do the sun, but the sun is a little complicated. the Rapunzel's done anyways, or flower. So we're just gonna improvise. I'll put the tape here so it's kind of at an angle like this. Okay, so now I have it on this little pedestal, and I am just gonna put the same yellow as before. Well, actually, the same yellow as I used for the shoes. Just gonna put a little down there on my palette, and grab a small paintbrush. It's very small tipped. So I'm actually just gonna draw some lines. It's not gonna be perfect because the actual flower is very complicated, but this will work. Now, if you get purple on the rim like I just did, you can just go over it again. I kept some of the purple that I made because I had a lot extra. So I'm just going to go over those when this dries. So that is the star. Okay, sorry about that. My camera cut off or something. I went ahead and painted the shoes on camera with you, but my camera decided to quit on me. So now we are on to her hair. So just take the same yellow you used for the sunglasses and shoes and just go ahead and paint. I'm going to try to get it to focus a little more. Okay, I guess not. Let's turn off the flash also, maybe that will help. Okay, so get your yellow paint and you can just start painting. You are probably going to need a few coats. Now once all this is dry, we will go over it again with the flowers. Yeah, as you can see, this is going to need quite a few coats, 2 or 3 maybe. Now this part is still wet. That's where I added the clay. So I will be waiting until that actually dries to go over it. And the yellow. But the inside actually doesn't look very good, and I know that's going to crack. So I'm just going to try to smooth that out with that little water. Okay, that looks better. Just a little more water. There we go. And I need more yellow. So the best way to probably do this is do half her head, let it dry because paint dries fast, and then do the other half. Because you're going to have to hold the other side to paint the other side. So I'm going to get this half done, and then I'm going to let her dry. Because I'm already having difficulty. Okay, I think that's all the hair I'll get done at the moment. Let me try to... Well, if I hold the bottom like this, I should be able to finish her top head. I'm not painting this part here, where the shirt is, because that is not actually meant to have clay on it. Okay, I'm gonna try to turn her again. Yeah, I got paint on me. Okay, and here's what she looks like. So I'm gonna let her dry. Then we will come back and when we're done, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a second coat on her as well.